Hi, welcome to the first video in a series for healing yoga after breast cancer with Dawn. Hi, my name is Dawn and I'll be guiding you through this gentle practice, and we will begin in a comfortable seat. I invite you, if you have a blanket or even a towel close by, to add that beneath the seat, as it can make the shapes and the movement a bit more comfortable. Also, we want to be mindful of keeping our hips above the height of the knees as best we can. And as you make your way to a comfortable seat, you can begin just by resting your hands on your knees. We'll take a few moments here just to arrive, just to come into a state of presence. As you make your way to your comfortable seat, again, maybe resting your hands on your knees. If it feels comfortable in your body, just take a moment to close your eyes with me. And begin to notice that connection of your seat to the ground beneath you. Begin to notice your spine, maybe allowing the spine to grow a little bit taller, slightly tucking the chin, and just beginning to pay attention to the breath. Nothing else to do right now, but just to breathe and to watch the breath as it travels up and down. And you can softly flutter or open the eyes. With your next inhalation, let's draw the shoulders close to the ears. And then exhale out of your mouth as you slide them down your back. Let's take two more just like that. Big inhale through the nose, draw the shoulders to the ears. Exhale out of the mouth, slide them down the back. One more big inhale. Exhale. And then we'll begin our practice with a pranayama practice called Samavriti, which is an even inhalation, even exhalation, and even pauses in between. We're going to move through 4 rounds of this breath. So we will inhale to a count of 4. We'll hold our breath at the top. Then we'll exhale to a count of 4, and we'll hold our breath at the bottom. I'll count your inhales and your exhales for you, and then know in that pause, we're just holding the breath. And that will be a pause. I'm not going to count that, but know that we are holding that for also 4 seconds. So emptying your breath out, preparing for the breath practice. And then inhale to 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Last round. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Returning to your normal pace of breath. Maybe just closing the eyes for a moment. And just noticing, observing perhaps any differences than before we took the breath practice. And then taking this moment to set an intention for our practice. We can just move through shapes in a yoga asana practice. But when we add that intention, that power of our mind and our heart, we add a little magic to the practice. So in this practice, our intention perhaps is that we are going to move with gentleness and care. We're going to accept our body just the way that it is and know that our body is healing. In preparing for our practice with our next inhalation, let's reach the arms overhead. And then exhale to lean over to the right, landing on the palm, aligning that top arm beside the ear. Take an inhale here. And then with your exhalation, let's begin to make some circles with this arm. Let your circles come from your shoulder joint. Perhaps link them with the rhythm of the breath. Maybe after 3 big circles, we'll align that top arm beside the ear, keeping the sit bones, the seat, anchored to your blanket or to your mat, to the floor. Open the heart back up to the sky. Let's take one more round of breath here. With our next inhale, let's take this left arm towards the sky. And then exhale, take the palm of the hand behind the neck. And with an inhale, open the elbow, open the arm a little closer upward. And then exhale, let's take the elbow towards that right arm, rounding the spine. Inhale, lift the elbow to the sky, open up, create some space here. And then exhale, elbow towards that right arm, towards the earth. Taking one more, inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, let's open the elbow back towards the sky. And with your exhalation, straightening that top arm, let's just sweep it around our low back. And with an inhalation, we're going to rise back up, nice tall spine, really root the fingertip pads of the right hand firmly into the floor, to your mat. And then with an exhalation, let's lower that right ear to that right shoulder. All right, we're going to stay here for 3 rounds of breath. You can direct your breath into the side of the neck. Imagining with each inhalation, we're creating some space. Let's take 2 more. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 1 more. You can stay just as you are, but I invite you with your next inhalation through the nose. And with your exhalation to begin to explore a bit. Maybe rolling the chin towards the chest. Maybe rolling back towards that same shoulder, even to the opposite shoulder. Just closing your eyes. Again, if that feels comfortable for you. Just finding any places in the neck where you feel like you're holding any tension or tightness. You can pause and breathe into those spaces. You can make slight adjustments or micro movements when you land there, just working any of that tension out. Take 1 more round of breath here. And then inhale, let's rise back up. Nice tall spine. Release the arms beside the body. Same shapes, other side. Inhale, let's reach the arms overhead. And then exhale to lean over to the left, landing on the palm. Really aligning that top arm beside the ear, mindful that we want both sides of our seat, really grounding down into the earth. Take an inhale here. And then with our exhalation, beginning to circle this right arm. Really working through the full range of motion, movement from the shoulder intentional and mindful with our movement. Right now, after our 3 big circles, let's just align that top arm beside the ear. Palm is facing down. Seat is rooted into the earth. Maybe remembering the heart is aiming upward. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. Next inhale, let's reach the arm to the sky. And then exhale, let's take the palm behind the neck. Perhaps with your next inhalation, you can lift the elbow closer upward. And then with your exhalation, let's take the elbow towards that left arm, towards the earth. Inhale, elbow to the sky, open it up. Exhale, elbow towards that left arm. One more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, elbow to the sky. With our exhale, let's straighten that right arm and sweep it around the low back. And with an inhale, let's rise back up. Nice tall spine. Root your left fingertip pads firmly into your mat or the floor. And then with your exhalation, let's lower that left ear to that left shoulder. Taking 3 rounds of breath here. Perhaps directing your breath into the place of the body you most feel the sensation, feel the stretch. 2 more. Let's take another inhale here. And with your exhale, freedom to stay as you are if this feels good, or finding your own intuitive exploration. Again, maybe the chin rolls to the chest. Maybe the ear rolls to that opposite shoulder or to the same shoulder. I invite you to close your eyes when we have these moments of exploration, of free flow. Just really tuning into your own body and what feels good. Let's take another round of breath here. Next inhale, let's just rise back up. Nice tall spine. Release the arms beside the body. All right, as we come back to a tall spine, let's just stretch the legs out. You can still be seated on your blanket. Let's stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out, and just find some movement in your joints here, like bouncing out your knees, either circling your wrist or even shaking the wrist. Just moving any stagnant energy out of our body. I think at this point we all know how impactful somatic movement can be, right? So just releasing and letting go of what no longer serves us. All right, and then we'll just come over the knees and we'll come to tabletop. And you can have some blocks handy here. If you want to just unfold your blanket to have this to support your knees. We'll just put the blocks towards the top of the mat. Right, and as you come forward into your tabletop, and check that you feel like your shoulders are over the wrists, the hips are over the knees. You can even bring some awareness to the tops of the feet. Might be really pressing down into the earth. And then we'll just move through a few cat-cows. So on an inhalation, letting the belly lower, the heart, the hips, the gaze lifts perhaps if the neck feels okay with it. And then exhale, pressing the mat away, tucking the chin to the chest as you take the belly towards the sky. Inhale to lower the belly, lift the heart, the hips, the gaze. Exhale to round. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. With your next inhale, let's sweep that right arm to the sky. And then exhale, slide it under that left arm. We're going to flow before we really pause in our twist. Inhale, sweep the right arm back to the sky. And this time with your exhale, slide it through it at a different angle. One more. Inhale, right arm to the sky. We're linking breath with movement. Exhale, slide it under. And this time pausing here in this shape. You can keep a bend in this left arm. You can reach the palm towards the top of the mat. You can wrap around the low back. Right? 3 rounds of breath here. Option if you have some blocks. You could use a block to support the head. If your shoulder doesn't make it to the earth, you could use a block to support the shoulder. One more round of breath. All right, next inhale, let's press into that left palm, sweep the right arm back to the sky. Big breath. And then exhale back to our tabletop. We'll move through 3 more rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your heart, your hips, your gaze. Exhale, round. Full curvature of the spine, best you can. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Returning to a neutral spine, checking the stacking of the bones, taking that twist on the other side. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, left arm back to the sky. Exhale, thread it through at a different angle. Last one, inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread it through, landing on that left shoulder. Again, you can use the right arm as a kickstand. You can reach towards the top of your mat. You can wrap around the low back, maybe finding that opposite hip crease. Again, if the head or the shoulder did not come all the way to your mat, feel free to add a block for support if you have one. If you have books, they can also work if they are firm enough. Just showing you some different variations. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. Next inhale, press into your right palm, sweep that left arm back to the sky. Exhale, return it to your mat. And we're going to keep the hips over the knees as best we can and just begin to walk the hands forward as far as feels good here. Fingers are spread wide. Once the palms have reached forward, we're going to lower the heart closer to the earth. You could have a block here as well. You might find a gentle arch in the low back here. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. Moving your inhalation across the top of your back and into your shoulders. And then your exhalation, just allowing the underside of the arms and the armpits to soften a little more closely towards the earth. Let's take 2 more rounds. Let's take an inhale here, palms extended forward. And with your exhalation, let's walk the palms over to the right. Just as far as feels good. And once they've landed in that place, again, allowing the underside of the arm, the heart, the armpits to relax towards the earth. 3 rounds of breath here. Let's take an inhale here together. With your exhalation, let's gently begin to walk the palms back towards the top of the mat. And then making our way to that other side. Again, extending just as far as feels good. Once they've arrived in that place, sinking back down, settling into the shape. Two more rounds of breath here. Let's take a big inhale together. Exhale to walk the palms back towards the top of our mat. And then walking the hands back towards the body. If you want to sink back to a child's pose, take a child's pose. You might choose to take your arms around the body here instead, just taking a few rounds of breath. Let's come back to tabletop. We're going to make our way to our seats and to our low back. And your blanket or your towel, we're going to take a supported heart opener shape before our rest. So you can choose the height of this. You can just roll it like so. You could roll it halfway and then use this for the other support. So really just playing around and seeing what feels most comfortable. And then we're going to place this roll right beneath the shoulder blades. And you can just let your legs relax, let your arms relax. Let's take 5 rounds of deep breath here. Full and abundant with the inhalation. Maybe we're even watching our belly expand with the breath. 4 more. With each exhalation, notice the body growing more relaxed, feeling heavier. Softening. Feel free to stay in this posture as long as you like. It can feel really nice and supportive and even become a yin shape when you stay here for even up to 5 minutes. So if that feels good for you, feel free to stay longer. Otherwise, gently roll yourself to one side. Maybe take a moment and just noticing how this shape feels comforting, safe, supported. Just observing what feels good in your own body right now. And taking your time, using your top arm, let's press up. Returning back to a comfortable seat. Let's seal our practice together with 3 closing breaths. Nice, comfortable seat. You can be seated back on your blanket. You can come to kneeling if you prefer. And just inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, hands come down the center. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. This time with our exhale, let's take our hands to the forehead. May our minds be steady and clear. Let's take our hands to the mouth. May our words be true and kind. And hands to the heart. May our hearts be compassionate towards others and most importantly, ourselves. We bow our heads in gratitude. Thank you for joining me for this practice. Have a wonderful and peaceful rest of your day.